Hi everyone. So we're going to proceed to the next unit, which is Unit 11. This is an introduction to program evaluation. We call this a introduction because it is actually a big topic that cannot be covered in one lecture or something. It's a big course actually, program evaluation. But in terms of introducing you about program evaluation, uh, can so that you can use the idea whenever you are in the school or any educational institution later. So for this lesson, you should uh, know to define what is curriculum, because we're trying to evaluate curriculum here. And then uh, you can also define what is curriculum evaluation and explain a little bit about the purpose of these four categories of evaluation, which is based on the CIPP evaluation model. So we'll explain you later on about why it is we're going to select CIPP evaluation model only. Okay, what is curriculum? So curriculum is actually can be defined many ways. So one of it is maybe the most common one is it can be defined as a plan for achieving goals. That is a plan to providing set of learning opportunities for a person to be educated in a educational program. So it is a plan, or it is a well or detailed procedure or detailed methods to achieve the goal. The second one would probably curriculum is can be defined as what is going to be plan, or what kind of learning environment that the students or the learners will experience. So this is by definition is anything about how to deliver or how to make sure the learning goal or the program goal to be achieved, okay, based on either whatever plan in exactly plan, and also what is going to be done outside of the school uh, context, but is still required by the curriculum. The third way to define curriculum is it can be defined in terms of subject matters. So it could be mathematics, science, English, and so on. So in other ways, curriculum can be seen as the content of an educational program. So this is could be covering anything about um, the learning, that the content that the students have to covers in an educational program, or anything related to the program. So another way to look curriculum is actually it can be seen as a field of study. Okay, so study about foundation, knowledge, domain, research, theory, principle, and specialist. So meaning to say curriculum can also be seen as a way of studying education actually. Right, so there are a few types of curriculum. First one is the recommended curriculum. This is the obvious example is the Ministry of Education syllabus. Right, so that could be the main a good example of recommended curriculum. for higher education, probably the recommended curriculum is the MQF. Then you have the written curriculum, which is the teacher's lesson plan, syllabus, or the program structure for university context. Okay. Then the taught curriculum, which is being delivered in teaching and learning processes or environment. Then the supported curriculum. So this one could covers about all the learning or the instructional materials, including textbook, workbooks, okay, and many others. Then this also include facilities, maybe playground, museum, library, of course, and also the learning environment. So meaning not only this, maybe other things, for example, the cafeteria and so on. That could be something related to the curriculum. Then you have what we call the assess curriculum, which is the curriculum that being assessed in term maybe by a test, project, and other form of assessment. And then what is being learned curriculum. So this is we're referring the curriculum actually learned by the student or by the learners. Okay, so that is probably things that the product of the curriculum. Then we also have the hidden curriculum. Maybe it's more appropriate if we call that unintended curriculum, but usually this form of curriculum is not being assessed, but it is something that probably being desired from the curriculum itself, but it's still important, but it's not being tested or being assessed. Okay, from that curriculum, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on the curriculum because it's something another course actually. But this is also introducing you about what is called by curriculum evaluation. So curriculum evaluation is actually we're trying to define here. So curriculum evaluation is it can be called by referred as a type of program evaluation. So this one is evaluating the educational curriculum. So it is a form of program evaluation. So you can have many form of program evaluation. That this may include other curriculum, okay, other programs such as maybe program which is conducted by the health ministry or other ministry or other institution, not necessarily done by the educational institution. So it is something process or procedures, okay, to systematically investigate. Usually we are looking at the effectiveness of the curriculum program. Okay, so for McCormick and James, educational evaluation or curriculum evaluation is function to diagnose, to revise curriculum, to compare, to anticipate education needs, and to determine if the objective has been achieved. So basically, it's not only about the effectiveness of the program, which is related to the achievement of the objective of the program, but also to look to the decision about to revise the curriculum or to make other important decision related to the curriculum. So usually we have to think about educational evaluation have to be done because program usually costs educational program usually costs a lot. It costs money, so you need to see whether the program itself function or not. So, but McCannell 1997, it also 1977. Okay, basically curriculum evaluation is an attempt to answer a few questions such as this is also important. Plan learning opportunities, program courses and activities that's developed and organized actually produces produce the desired results. So meaning to say that whatever input or whatever things that have we done, whether it produce what we want it to result. Okay, and then is the intended curriculum match with the learned curriculum to see whether it has a result, but whether it is matching with the, uh, the intended curriculum. Okay, so we want to see that we want to compare to the intended curriculum with the learned curriculum. Then we also want to see or to look at whether the curriculum offerings can be improved, meaning to say whether we can, what things that we can improve with the curriculum of the program. Because we need to understand that this curriculum usually may be relevant to a certain time and to the certain type of people that enroll to the program. May change, so and then the stakeholders also may change in terms of their focus. So we always need to do the curriculum evaluation, not necessarily only looking at the whether this tool has been done, but also looking at how to improve how to further improve or to continuously improve the curriculum. Austin and Hankin says that curriculum evaluation is a process or class of process that people perform in order to gather data. Of course, we need to have data in the evaluation. It's similar to research that enable to decide and them to decide whether to accept, change, eliminate something. So whether it's maybe from the curriculum in general or very to something minor like educational textbook in particular. Wharton and Sender says that if curriculum evaluation is it says a formal determination of the quality. Okay, so for Wharton, it mentioned about quality now, while and then effectiveness or the value of the program, product, project, process, objective, or the curriculum. So this is Wharton and Sanders' definition would probably a big is more general, more covers in terms of its definition. For Gay, so the aim of the curriculum evaluation is to also to identify weakness and strength. So that's why with curriculum evaluation we can determine what to improve or what to retain in the curriculum of the program. And then the second one is, of course, to improve the curriculum development process to determine the effectiveness of the curriculum and the returns of finance allocated. So usually we also looking at the what we call that ROI, return of investment. Okay, because usually curriculum is a form of investment. So we want to look whether to what extent the curriculum has returned the investment. So this is a big thing. It's not something that we can avoid because the curriculum or educational programs are something controlled by the ministry. Olivia in 1988, it says here curriculum evaluation as a process of delineating, obtaining, and providing useful information for judging decision alternative. So this is looking at judging the decision alternative. So basically, they're still the same thing. Okay, there's information involved and decision to be done. Okay, so there are few maybe important decisions need to be done related to the curriculum. So whether to maintain the curriculum as it is, or to modify the curriculum, or to eliminate the curriculum. So basically, curriculum evaluation also looking at to do this. Okay, so there are many models actually. objective model, FreeGo model, Kirkpatrick 4 level of evaluation. But I will introduce CIPP model since it is a good way to look program evaluation or educational evaluation as something as a whole, because it is a very holistic model, looking at a lot of things, but very systematically to conduct the evaluation. So basically, the CIPP is coming from the word context, input, process, and product. So in a way that any program evaluation or curriculum evaluation, you can evaluate 4 categories in the curriculum. It's either looking at the context of the curriculum, or looking at the input, looking at the process, or looking at the product. Okay, and you can evaluate all of it, or you can evaluate any of it. Okay, maybe 2, maybe 2 over here, 2 over here, or all of it. Okay, so if you evaluate all of the evaluation, meaning the process will be very big. Okay, so very complex process to be done. So what is context evaluation? So context evaluation will assess the needs, the problem, assets, and also the opportunity within the defined environment or within the educational program context. So the needs will include those things that are necessary, okay, the things that needed to enable the program or the curriculum to be conducted. And then looking at the problem and the situation of the context, okay, meaning to say what is the things that is lacking, things of something a bit not enough, okay, in terms of the organization or the environment to deliver the curriculum, okay, in terms of curriculum. So in this context of evaluation, we're also looking at the problems, okay, to meet or to continue the curriculum itself. Okay, and then asset. So context also looking at the asset, looking at the facilities. This is including either the not only the physical asset, but also looking at the people who going to directly anything that directly needed to conduct the program or to make the curriculum complete. Okay, so in order so that the target purposes can be achieved. So assets is not only about physical things, object, but it's also including the staff, the academic staff. That's all included in the asset. And then the opportunity included, especially funding of the program. Okay, so that can be obtained from the curriculum of the program itself. So normally, if process of any new program in the university, it is quite needed for the university to show the context evaluation, how feasible the program or the curriculum to be conducted. So in a short way, context evaluation is actually looking to evaluate the extent of the curriculum can be conducted, can be delivered in the environment that is being conducted or going to be held. Okay, then is also looking at the defensible purpose defined, whether the curriculum or the program that is or the curriculum is being designed or the whatever inside the context is it adhering with the ethical or the legal standard, or maybe the certain standard already being set for that particular program or particular curriculum. So the main purpose of the context, what as I said just now, is to it's about to describe the context of the intended service. Here, in terms of looking at the curriculum, is the service is providing the curriculum or providing education opportunity, and then to identify the intended beneficiary and assess their needs, looking at the needs of the beneficiary, meaning to say the beneficiary here is the people who will receive the service. So here the beneficiary, here for example is you are the beneficiary here. So the people who are going to receive the service. Okay. So what kind of needs that students need to achieve that kind of that curriculum. Then also looking at possible problems or barriers to meet the needs, and to identify area of asset funding opportunity that can be used to address the targeted needs. So this is really looking at the organization to what extent it can really deliver the curriculum. If it's not well funded, it doesn't have money, it doesn't have funding to even to maintain to do the maintenance of the building, so it would not be a sustainable program that can be in the middle, can be collapsed, can collapse anytime. So we don't want to do that. So context evaluation is also can be seen as we are looking at the strength, the risk. So we're also looking at the risk. We're also looking at the opportunity. Okay, we're also looking at the strength and also the weakness or the threat to the curriculum itself. So this is something related to the SWOT analysis. All right. So this is context analysis. Context analysis also will assess the clarity and the appropriateness of the program, the instructional or the other service goal related to the program. So this is basically maybe not that most important, but looking at the program content also. So this one is alright. We're looking at the program appropriateness. Then the second one will be the input evaluation. So input evaluation is the main orientation is to help the prescribed program or project or other intervention which to improve the service to the intended beneficiary. So what kind of things that being done, okay, action that being done to further improve the delivery of the curriculum. So an input evaluation will assess the proposed program or project service, okay, associated work plan and budget for carrying out the effort. So input evaluation is probably looking at to what extent the organization put the effort of delivering the curriculum. This may be including the strategies or the activities that is related that are related to action of these strategies and activities is related to the extent of the program provider or the service provider in order for them to achieve the intended purpose of the program. So what kind of this may including to improve the delivery, to improve whatever they need to do so that they can achieve the purpose of the program. So they have the things that they have planned, the things they have in hands, and then to look to what kind of strategies they are already doing this. Then what kind of resources they are planning or they have in order to make sure that the program or the curriculum can be delivered effectively. So this may include the human resource, the facility, the materials. Okay. Right? So the purpose of input evaluation, so this is basically to improve, to provide information, how to utilize the resources to meet the program goal. So in the context, we are looking at what they have, okay, what they have, whether they have the resources, whether they have uh, the the means of, whether they have the means to do to deliver the curriculum, to provide the service. For input is looking at to the extent, uh, uh, the ability of that organization to use the resources, to use whatever they have to provide the service or to meet the program goals here. So the input evaluation is actually to assist, determining how to use the resources to meet the program goals. So this is looking at how to use the resources. So context is looking at the resources we have, and then for input we are looking at how, okay, determination of how to use the resources. Okay, then it also to identify and assess the relevant capabilities of agencies, strategies, and design to implementing the strategies. So you have the resource, and then now you're looking at uh, how you're going to implement, what are the strategies that you're going to use to for the implementation of your service providing. Okay, and then the third one will be the process evaluation. So the process evaluation is an ongoing check on the plan. Okay, the plan implementation plus documentation of process, including the change in the plan as well as the key omission or the poor execution of the certain procedure. So when you say you already you have the resource, you have the strategy, okay, you have the resource in your context evaluation, and then you have the strategy, your plan in the on how use on how you're going to use the resources, okay, and then now once you already conducted the plan, so you're assessing uh, uh, to what extent whatever you have, the product, the resource, and also your strategies, to what extent the implementation is effective. Okay, so this is also including the documentation. So the process evaluation is looking at the the process of implementation. So the process of implementation uh, of the program based on the strategies and resources that you have. For example, you have, the organization have. Okay, so in the process evaluation will seek for documentation on uh, was uh, how was the implementation done. Is there any kind of uh, uh, any kind of adjustment, any kind of improvement done during the implementation? What kind of strategies already been changed? Okay, so one goal is to provide staff and managers feedback about the extent to which staff are carrying out the planned activities on schedule as planned and efficiently. So process evaluation also keeping track to the extent of the implementation of the plan. So process evaluation can be also looked as a monitoring process in which you want to see or want to check the extent of the implementation, okay, or the progress of the implementation. Another is to help staff to identify implementation problem and to make need correction in activities or the plan. So here to say also, in a way, when we know we can identify the problem in terms of implementation, so this can make correction during this process. So you may have a good resource, you may have a good strategies, but still there's a maybe some problem in the implementation. So you need to look at the implementation problem. Okay, so a program may fail not because of the resources, the context, not because of the strategies, but the problem in terms of implementation of the program or the curriculum. Okay, so the purpose of process evaluation is already being a little bit being explained just now. So the another purpose is to predict and detect defect of the procedural design or its implementation during developmental stage. So the purpose of this is to look for defect. Okay, because we know that we have the resources, we can plan, but still the implementation is a different story. Can be something else. Alright, so it can provide information for programming decision. Okay, so to maintain record of procedure as they occur, so this is also important. So in the process evaluation, the recording is very important. The documentation is important because we need to look at the effectiveness of the implementation, and also without the documentation, we cannot detect the problem. And then from that, this process evaluation, we can suggest ways to implement to improve the implementation. Of course, to find out strength and weakness of the implementation. Then maybe by improving the implementation, the idea is we're going to maximize the attainment to the objective. So here, a process evaluation may be considered something that is quite heavy to to be conducted for a program. Okay. Then the last one will be the product evaluation. So this one is if you think about summative formative assessment, the process evaluation probably is the formative evaluation. So in this time, the process evaluation it is going to change a little bit in terms of the delivery of the curriculum, maybe because of the evaluation done. So this is a formative evaluation or formative assessment to help the program or the service provider to improve. And then the product evaluation will be, we can see that is a form of summative evaluation. And then we are looking at the extent of whether from the process, from the context, and also the input, and also the process of the delivering the curriculum. So we're looking at to what extent we have got the product that we intended to produce. So in product evaluation, it's is to measure, to interpret, and judge the enterprise achievement. So basically, it is a summative process looking at the achievement of the enterprise or the program provider or the service provider. So usually it will compare the intended outcome or the actual outcome. So that this is the product evaluation. So also looking at unintended outcomes, maybe outcomes on the teachers, also outcome of the students. Right. So this is a few things that can be looked. Okay. So product evaluation usually can be seen as a summative process. So this is some purpose of the product evaluation. It can be more. Of course, it is going to measure and interpret attainment. Okay, but not only in terms of terminal performance, but also looking at the project team considered to be necessary. And then it's also going to provide information for decision regarding to whether to the continuation or the termination or the modification, or we focus on the change process of the of the program of all the service procedures. So that's one. That's basically uh, uh, covers all the CIPP model of evaluation. So it's a nice way to look at how you can evaluate the program, but it's also a nice way for you to apply CIPP, not for exactly for a program, a big one, but it's also a way for you to apply this approach to evaluate your lesson or your teaching and learning that you have done throughout a year when you are teaching. So it's a good process, a good model to use to evaluate your curriculum if your curriculum is referred as the subject that you teach. So it's a good it is a nice way for you to evaluate your your uh, your curriculum in terms of subject. So as you can see that CIPP is a process. You don't have to do the CIPP at the end, but it's a process in terms of continuous process. So maybe in the beginning of a year, you can start with your context evaluation. Okay, and then you complete the one cycle of context evaluation, and then maybe the first early part will be the context and also the input evaluation, and then throughout the year you have a process evaluation, and then at the end of the year maybe you can do your product evaluation. So it's a nice way to be used for your classroom practice. Okay, that's all for this topic. So I hope you understand a little bit on curriculum evaluation. It doesn't have to be something big, but it can be applied for your classroom purposes or classroom practice as well. Okay, anything you can ask in the learning management system later. Right, thank you. Bye.